Welcome back. Our next program is one that's interesting, and it's actually the person that's with me is the president of this group, and it's the Long Beach Central Area Association. It's John Malveaux, and I knew John Malveaux years ago. I haven't seen him for a long time,
Yes.
but you've been president of the Central Association how long?
For approximately 12 years or more. Yes.
Is it because they vote you in,
Well, yes.
or you won't leave?
Well, the probably the most significant reason is we're a volunteer organization.
Of course, yes.
And I'm retired, and I have the capacity to work full time
Good.
without pay.
Well, that's what happens when you work with nonprofits. Is there's not
Exactly.
much money involved.
Yes.
Well, I know that organization started when, Central Area?
Approximately 1990, it was spearheaded by former Councilman Clarence Smith to be co-sponsor of the Martin Luther King Parade and Celebration. And of course, primary purpose was to develop and implement programs directed to the African American community in the Central area. The Councilman Smith was the councilman for the 6th District, and the programming was devoted to the residents of that area who were primarily African Americans and almost exclusively the only place African Americans could live at that time.
In the Central Area?
That's correct.
But that's not true now.
Oh, no. The geography and the landscape has significantly changed, and there are numerous council districts that have more African Americans than the 6th District at this time. But as a youth, the doctors, the lawyers, everybody, all the African Americans lived in the 6th District.
Well, the Central Area Association has had many projects
Yes.
working in the Central Area. And can you remember some of the projects? Today we're going to talk about Music Untold, but
Yes.
what are the other projects?
Well, the primary activity, the Central Area Association is a community action group, so the activities included everything from voter registration to helping with job announcements, but the primary activity was to be the co-sponsor for the annual Martin Luther King Parade and Celebration.
It's still going on.
It still goes on, but the Central Area Association is not a co-sponsor anymore. The co-sponsorship terminated after 19 consecutive years.
Oh my.
When Councilman Andrews was elected, another organization replaced the Central Area Association. And that led to pretty much the founding of Music Untold. We wanted to expand programming beyond the Central Area Association, but at the same time,
keep the identity there.
Maintain the historical records and keep that name. So we formed a component called Music Untold, and that is Music Untold is devoted to arts and educational programs that promote diversity and human dignity. And we felt that we could have an influence through the arts.
And how are you doing this?
Well, we create programming that provide information and hopefully expand the awareness of the public to certain issues. As an example, I think it was just in October of last year, we held a celebration of women's right to vote. you know, it's been less than 100 years since women nationally could vote. California, fortunately, passed a proposition which allowed women to vote like 4 years earlier than the federal 19th Amendment. So, but at this time, we thought it was a benefit to really celebrate all that women have endured
So
to vote.
you plan the programs,
Yes.
and but there is no standing group. It could be a program for this occasion or another program for another occasion. Is that right?
Yes, we have a committee who convene and collectively determine a program. But the women's right to vote program, I'd like to mention that we received some help funding that from the Long Beach Arts Council, and I'd like to give particular mention to City Prosecutor Doug Halbert, who was a speaker, and also to State Assemblyman O'Donnell, who also was a speaker and gave support to that celebration.
But that has nothing to do with Music Untold.
That was an event of Music Untold.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
Ah.
Music Untold was the sponsor, and our partner was the League of Women Voters.
Okay, but Music Untold doesn't mean that you have a musical group that goes places around.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I got to
it
get
does
that
not.
straight.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the name of the program within Central Area Association. Music Untold is a program that plans arts and music for things such as the Martin Luther King Parade, which they don't do now, but that and the women's right to vote.
Yes. And we have a website. It's musicuntold.com, and it details all of our activities over the last 7 years or so. So we invite all to.
Can you just mention a couple that you're proud of?
Well, we were blessed several years ago to bring Misty Copeland to Long Beach Poly, Cal State LA, and San Pedro Boys Club and San Pedro High School. Misty is the first African American soloist with the ABT at the Metropolitan Opera.
My goodness. And you brought that,
Brought her here to Long Beach, and she did workshops and spoke to the students to encourage them on diversity in ballet, despite the perceived odds of achieving that goal.
Oh, well, she's certainly made herself known well for the wonderful work she's doing.
Yes.
And did she do that to an audience, or does she go to the schools? Or
Yes, she went to Poly High and spoke to the dance students there. And she did a workshop at Cal State Long Beach. And actually, she's from San Pedro. She wasn't born there, but she went there as a very young child. And she, her start came rather late for a ballet dance, about 12 years old, at the Boys Club in San Pedro. So we visited that, her high school and the Boys Club, and I think it was NBC did a segment on the visit to the Boys Club there.
And do you have a committee that works with you to do
Yes.
these? And is it a standing committee of volunteers or what?
Well, it's a core group of 3, and for different projects we invite others in to help. And in the effort to expand beyond the initial central area in the city, in let's see, time flies. Let's see, this is 17. And 2015 was our first concert in Washington, D.C. We went to DAR Constitution Hall for a concert to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the 13th Amendment. And
Now, when you say we went, who's we?
MusicUNOTLD was the presenter.
Ah,
We had significant participation from faculty and students at Howard University. If you have not seen the block-long structure of Constitution Hall, the library, and the rooms and so forth of the Daughters of the American Revolution, it is something you never forget.
well, I'm sure that's true. I haven't seen that. So.
Yeah.
Well, it seems as though you have been very, very active, John, and you know, I can remember your name from years ago. So you've been active in the community for a long, long time.
Well, yes. I want to thank you for appointing me to the Historical Commission during the tenure of Lloyd Richardson. I served a couple of years, and that was a wonderful experience. And
You got to be active in the community then.
well, I think you had an interest in diversity, and I appreciate it.
You know, John, before we leave, who attends the events that you put on?
Well, we publicize to the public and through our website.
In the central area?
Well, the website, of course, is,
Oh, yeah.
is
Okay, you're right.
International, in fact. But it's somewhat different for each event.
Like this weekend, you're doing something?
This weekend, part of our mission includes providing free access to the arts.
Okay.
And we have a partnership through the Education Department of the Geffen Playhouse.
Oh, okay.
And they provide us with 16 tickets for each production.
Okay.
And we're going this Sunday matinee for The Longest Journey.
Very good.
So it's a Pulitzer Prize.
So what you do is you have, when you have opportunities like this, you invite people that you want to involve in the arts more.
Yes, we try to reach
Okay.
a diverse audience. And for this project, we primarily focus on seniors.
Okay, very good.
And we try to reach Cambodian, African American,
Very good.
the different segments of our community. And,
Well-
and I'd like to mention that I'm also a senior and live at St. Mary's Tower, and also in the city here, the ICT provide.
International City Theater.
Yes, they
Very good.
provide access to the seniors and at St. Mary's Tower and others
That's great.
to see plays here in Long Beach. But one reason we formed a partnership with the Geffen is I found that particularly low-income residents have often limited perspective due to confined geography.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so we try to provide some experiences
Outside of the area.
outside,
Yeah, very
give
good.
them an opportunity to socialize and to meet people
Good.
in different communities.
Well, John, thank you so much. You've enlightened us, and I appreciate that, and I'm nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. I told you, good programs.